How's it going today, everybody? This is Kaiju Addict, your host, and we are continuing our kind of few-day celebration of Godzilla Day, and we are looking at the MonsterArts 2019 Burning Godzilla, obviously from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Great figure. I'm getting out some of the MonsterArts and some of the vinyls that I haven't done thus far. Next week, it sounds like within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, I should be getting the new movie monster series, Gorosaurus 91, Godzilla Iris, and Gamera 99. So prepare for that. I'm very excited to bring out those videos. But if you enjoy this one, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. We're continuing to grow really quick, and quite honestly, I super appreciate it. So let's bring them on in closer. So the MonsterArts Burning Godzilla here. I'm gonna raise this up just a little bit. There we go. Is a wonderfully detailed figure. Obviously, it's just the 2019 mold. I believe it's cast in like an orange-yellow plastic, and then it's got all the dark burning parts. Whether it's shaded, you know, it's supposed to be pretty much his skin in here. I believe some of these lower parts are actually molded in the darker plastic, or maybe it's the opposite, where it's the darker plastic is the mold and then the bright is the actual color. I actually don't know. It looks like it's an orange, just looking from the inside. Okay, so it is an orange mold with the dark shading pretty much as the added on, besides a few parts. But he looks excellent. I know this figure is kind of 50-50 with a lot of people. In fact, I didn't buy him right away. I got him at the beginning of the year. But I really, the second I got this figure, because I got it on sale, this is normally $90 and I got him for like $50 on Amazon. I really fell in love with this guy. He's still one of my favorite to look at. I like taking him off the shelf and just looking at him. He's beautiful. All the detail in the mold. It's just excellent. It is just excellent. Paint job, yeah, it could be better, but quite honestly, I kind of don't mind it. If it was a little bit more even, then I would like it definitely more, but I still do enjoy this figure for what it is. It's a nice callback to the old 1995 Burning Godzilla, while also taking a kind of more modern-esque look and abilities with it. So for size comparisons, because I don't have enough space for 2019 Ghidorah, we're going to look at two MonsterArts. We are going to look at, first, pretty much the same figure. We've got the 2021 Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla, which is practically the same mold, just a few slight changes, but looks good. It does show the difference between the mold spines and the colored spines. I don't have the poster version in 2019, so I can't comment on how this figure and that figure looks. And I do have the regular 2019, but I thought the Godzilla vs. Kong one would be a little bit more interesting. And for a second one, just in case if you happen to not have that one, we have the Final Battle, Shinagawa Final Battle Kiryu. He's not standing quite straight up. There we go. He's kind of leaning. That's okay. He's obviously bigger. That is fine. We want him to be larger. Kiryu should always be a little taller than the Godzilla he's facing. That's just how it was in the movie. That's how I personally like it. I like my Kiryus larger, just because Kiryu's so cool. All right, so that does it for the comparisons. Sorry, I don't really have a Ghidorah to compare him to. It's just the 2019 Ghidorah is such a hassle to bring out, and this setup is nowhere set for him, so we're just gonna ignore him for now. The articulation on this guy, I will say, owning the 2021 and the 2019 and the 2014, that because of this being a little bit different material, Some of the joints are a lot tighter. So I find this middle neck part right here, this big piece, which it's actually the same on the 2021, be super tight. You can adjust it, but as you saw, it took a lot of, just hassle to get it to move. And I only got it to move maybe a little bit. But the top of the head still likes to turn. The nice thing is they did change it from the 2014 to where that front head is where all of the neck articulation goes. So you can get them pretty much up and roaring like this, which is what I love. That's what this Godzilla really does. He likes to get low like a bear and just yell at the sky. And that's one of my favorite poses to recreate with this Godzilla mold. Pretty much all of them. It's very hard not having all three of mine in that pose. But he also can turn left to right. He's got a lot of articulation. If his joints weren't tight, he'd have a little bit more too. But once again, this translucent plastic, it does take away a little bit. It makes joints tighter, a little bit more stickier. The jaw can open and close, but just like the 2021, mine doesn't seem to want to close all the way like the original 2019. I swear his closes just a slightly bit more, but that's not as bad. I tested it right before I hit record. If you do push it, the jaw just pops out, but be careful. There's a little, you can see the ball peg in the mouth. Yeah, you can see it. If that breaks, that's a painful fix. The shoulders can move around. They can move out. Well, this one can. And then they can pretty much go 360. This one doesn't really go out, which is fixed with the 2021 version. But it still does go forward. Just kind of rubs up against the mold. The elbows are really good on this guy. Love the elbows on this figure. It's pretty much double jointed. That's also where you get your bicep swivel. So you can kind of have him doing more of a Frankenstein walk towards you. Then his wrists are pretty much like all Figuarts Tamashii brand. It's a hinge and a swivel. He's got the upper diaphragm joint and the abdomen crunch. Lean forward, it goes about that much, which is a lot. Lean back, if you watch the spines, can go about that much. So you can get him standing pretty straight forward. Then you just gotta adjust that neck a little bit, and then he's looking forward. He's looking pretty tall. I like to lean mine just a little forward. I don't know, with Burning Godzilla, I like to hunch him over a little bit. I like the hunch. I don't know why, but I do. Also, if you heard that, that was one of the dogs barking. She's been barking all day. Very windy outside, so things are kind of getting moved around a little bit. The hips on this guy, when you pull them out, he's got little protectors to not show as much gap, though it's still there. But they can kind of go out a little bit. They can go in quite a bit. The legs can go pretty far forward. They can go kind of far down. Not super far down. And then if you do, the legs become super uneven. Because this middle piece isn't molded evenly, as you can see. This side rubs up against this side a little bit. But you technically can make this Godzilla stand really tall. It looks a little weird though. Like I said, I like to hunch mine a little bit forward. Get his legs really out in front of him. Kind of holds him up as a base. Because he is a heavy, heavy boy, after all. His knees, this side doesn't have a lot. This side has a lot more, as you can see. It does have the problem of the knee joint popping up, so you can see there. That I haven't really been able to fix, but you can hide it. It looks fine. And then the ankles. They don't really go back. That's about as far back as they go, which isn't a lot. But they do go forward quite a bit. They also do have a little bit of pivot. just a little bit. It's like me, I like to twist the thigh a little bit, just the ankle, get all set up, get this front leg, boom. And now you've kind of got him, you know, set up for one of those up and roaring poses. The tail has quite a bit of articulation. Now I will say on my Burning Godzilla here, right here, super tight, as you can hear that. It does not want to move. You can actually see how it's not even here. It doesn't lay like any of the others. It's just that these few joints right here, super, super tight. So I'm always careful with that section of the leg, or the tail. But it does seem to be a little bit tighter than my 2019s and my 2021s. I haven't found as much articulation, but he still gets it. You can still get the tails up, or to the sides a lot. And you can kind of get this one up, but like I said, it's a little tight. So normally what I do with this one is I lay it down, as I said, to get that big pose, which I'll just put him in right now so he's shelf ready. He's roaring up at King Ghidorah, showing that he's, you know, the boss. I love this pose. I love it. Ever since he did it right at the end of 2014 when he's holding the Muto head, the female Muto head, I fell in love with this pose, and I fell in love with this Godzilla. So, but there you have it, pretty much. That's the articulation. Pretty straightforward, legendary Godzilla articulation. So my thoughts on this figure. It's definitely a really nice figure. I'm pretty sure he is mostly sold out everywhere now. I have seen on the Facebook groups his price has been rising a little bit. He's about 150 now, I think. So he's a little spendy. If you really want a good-looking Burning Godzilla that's very accurate to the movie, this probably isn't your best option, just because it's very, you know, the feet are super dark. The tail is dark, and then the whole upper body's super light, and then the top of the head is dark with the shading, and then the forearms. It looks a little weird. For me, it's just he's illuminating unequally, asymmetrically, so he's not gonna all be looking the same in every part of his body. So for me, it's fine, but I know a lot of people don't like the look. You either really like it or you really hate it when you see it. I'm just thankful that I bought it and that I really liked it when I took it out. I do know a few people I talked to, and a few of the groups did not like the turnout of this figure, which is completely fine. So personally for me, this figure is going to get a 7 out of 10. The paint, you know, when it comes to overall, it does have to affect it a little bit. And then the tight joints, especially with the tail and stuff. It is kind of frustrating when I can pick up 2019 or 2021, move them how I want them, get them in the right pose without feeling like I'm going to break them. And this guy specifically out of the three is just really tight and kind of not as flexible. I do understand it's the plastic, but you know, it's still a thing. Probably could fix it with hot water, but I don't really like doing that too much myself. Still a little nervous to do little fixes like that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next video, which probably will be another vinyl figure. So I will see you guys later. Peace, rock on, stay safe, and have a wonderful day.